Guys, welcome back to the Transfer Daily YouTube channel where we are bringing you the latest updates from the football transfer market. And today we're going to be talking about two centre-backs, top class, and also Paulo Dybala and the Galatasaray and Roma situation. So, we're going to start off with Thomas Araujo. We know centre-back for Benfica. We spoke about him in a previous video. Highly regarded as one of the best centre-backs for the future of football. And as I've said in the last video, interest from Chelsea has been there and from other clubs. And also, as we know, two bids rejected last summer from Crystal Palace. And he is gaining a lot of interest. And yesterday, we got some breaking news that Thomas Araujo has signed a new contract with Benfica until June 2029. And Benfica don't want to lose a player. And I obviously said yesterday on Twitter, if you're following me at Transfer Daily, that there is a believe release clause in the deal. And the release clause is 80 million euros, which is payable for, the top clubs in England. It is a deal that they can do. So we have to wait and see, but Benfica will not negotiate for anything lower than this. And we know Benfica like to get these big players sold for big fees, which is why they put the release clauses in there. And this was crucial in negotiation with Thomas Araujo as well, because Araujo obviously will want to move in the future. And whilst negotiations were going on over a new contract, this was one of the talking points that they will put a release clause in there which can be paid. Big future sale is expected for Benfica, and as I've just said, he had strong interest from Chelsea, and moving January might now be more unlikely for Thomas Araujo, but Chelsea will still sign a centre-back in January. And speaking of Chelsea and centre-backs, I spoke about it in a previous video where I spoke about Thomas Araujo, Jared Branthwaite for next summer, but I also spoke about Marc Guehi, and I've got a big update from Chelsea with Marc Guehi. And Marc Guehi is high up on the list of a potential new centre-back next summer for Chelsea. Crystal Palace want around 70 million, which is less than what they wanted before that, because his contract does expire in 2026, so there will be a reduced fee. But from what I've just said, next summer, Crystal Palace, in the situation they're in the Premier League, would like to not get rid of the star players like Eberechi, Adam Ward and Marc Guehi in January. So a sale in January will not happen unless if a serious offer gets made around 90 million. That sort of fee. And Chelsea, alongside those other names who I've said, Jared Branthwaite and Thomas Araujo, Chelsea are seriously considering making a move to re-sign Marc Guehi, because we know he came through the Chelsea Academy, then a few loan moves happened and Chelsea did sell him. And as I've just said, they're seriously considering making a move to re-sign Marc Guehi. Other English teams could also come into the equation for Marc Guehi, as Marc Guehi, when he makes a move, he'll stay in England. He hasn't been linked with Italian clubs or Spanish clubs or German clubs, but he will stay in England when he makes a move. And when I'm on about other clubs coming in the mix, I've seen him linked with Liverpool. At the moment, from what I know, Liverpool isn't a destination for him, but from what I'm being told, Chelsea are in the race. Newcastle could return as well if the price drops, because we know Newcastle bid quite a lot last summer and were close to signing him. I think they were, Crystal Palace wanted about 5 million more for Guehi. So Newcastle could also return for Guehi. And also, as I've just said, contract expires in 2026. So if Crystal Palace can't sign him to a new contract extension, which is expected, he will leave next summer. Marc Guehi, expected anyway, not confirmed as of now, as I know, but it will be expected he leaves due to Crystal Palace wanting to get a fee for Guehi. So 70 million around that price tag for Guehi. Wouldn't surprise me if it's even less next summer, so we have to wait and see. But Chelsea seriously considering making a move to re-sign Marc Guehi next summer. So, last up, we're going to be talking about Paulo Dybala. So, as we know, his contract is expiring next summer, so he will become a free agent. And a few weeks ago, I got informed at the start of December that Paulo Dybala's future was uncertain at AS Roma due to the new Roma manager Claudio Ranieri wanted Dybala to stay, and he's involved in the project, and it's been a bit like this season over Paulo Dybala. We know last summer Al Qadsiya from Saudi Arabia wanted to sign Dybala. Dybala said no because he wanted to stay at Roma, and he has been this season in and out due to injuries, this sort of stuff. So it has been a very frustrating season. But as I've just said, his contract runs until 2025. And there is a clause in Dybala's contract close to being triggered, which is based on how many appearances made. And I've been told this is close to being triggered, which will extend his contract into June 2026. So all seemed well and good in the Dybala and Roma situation, that this will be triggered until June 2026 after Claudio Ranieri has a player in his plans for Roma and this sort of thing. But today we have been found out that there is a twist once again in the Paulo Dybala situation. And it is Galatasary. And Galatasary are currently working on a move for Paulo Dybala for next summer as a free agent. Meetings have taken place between Galatasaray and Paulo Dybala's agents in recent weeks. And to be clear, he will not leave Roma in January. And the issue that's going to go on here is Dybala, obviously the thing he gets, his contract automatically gets triggered. So Galatasaray free agent working, and Paulo Dybala's head has been swayed by this. But the sticking point is, if that gets extended until June 2026, there will be money, and it will then come down to, do Roma want to sell him, which at the moment it's unclear. Claudio Ranieri really likes the player, but it's still unclear. And Paulo Dybala's decision, because Dybala, as I've just said, head has been swayed a bit over this one, and he is interested in the prospect of signing for Galatasaray next summer. So that is a Paulo Dybala situation. It's been a very up and down over the last 6 months for Dybala. Could have signed for Saudi Arabia. A deal was close to happening. Then he decided he wants to stay at Roma. Under Daniel De Rossi then, he was out of the Roma project and out of the plans of Roma. But then De Rossi gets sacked. Ranieri comes in and he's back in the plans. But Galatasaray now working on a move for Paulo Dybala as a free agent next summer. Dybala won't leave in January, but we have to wait and see in this one. So I'll be bringing you up to date with further updates. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want more exclusive news on these things, go and follow me on Twitter at Transfer Daily. And I'll see you in the next one.